Welcome to the first of a series of mini lessons in geometry, and I'm just going to run through labeling for the first one. So let's go ahead and take a look at a point. A point is basically a way that we can identify a location in space. It has no volume, it has no substance to it, and we just simply label it with a capital letter. So if I have a point, I label that capital A. Very often when we have two lines intersect, it intersects at a point, and we just label that with a capital letter. Line, we have a line and designated with arrows on both ends. So I have an arrow here and an arrow here, and it takes 2 points to define a line, so simply have to have 2 points, A, B, and we designate that with AB, and arrows go in both directions. The arrows signify direction. This goes on infinitely that way, and in the direction of A, it goes on infinitely that way. Okay, next one. Okay, now we have array. Array is basically a line that has an endpoint and it goes in one direction in a straight line forever. We also label it using 2 points. We're going to label the endpoint A, and we have to designate another point anywhere along here. Call it another letter, capital B. These are points. And when you talk about array, you have the endpoint on the end part and the direction over here. So this represents an endpoint, and this represents direction. And yes, I could have wrote it like this, BA, but guess what? The endpoint has to go over here. Direction has to go in the direction of B. A plane, kind of hard to draw on a two-dimensional surface, but I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Plane is just a two-dimensional set of an infinite number of points, and it has to be identified in one of 2 ways. A set of 3 points, non-collinear, because you can have an infinite number of planes that go through 2 lines or even 3 collinear lines or so on. And we would call that A, B, C. So it would be called plane ABC, because we know which ones we're talking about. And sometimes I use these fancy little letters like plane L. There's a fancy little letter, script letter. And that isn't just another way so we don't have to write out all this. Angle. So we have an angle. These are supposed to be rays. And to label an angle, we also need 3 points. But we're going to call this one the vertex. That's a very special point. So we have A, B, C, and the vertex will always go in the middle. A, B, C, and we call that angle A. That right there is the vertex. I could have also named this angle CBA. Alright, so that's it for labeling.